right, ladies and gentlemen. Unlike the great Roseanne Barr, this show has not been canceled, and we are here to bring you another amazing show here at the Pride Rules podcast. First and foremost, happy Memorial Day. I know it's past, but we weren't able to do the show on Memorial Day. So happy Memorial Day to everybody and to those who serve to give us the great freedoms that we have to listen to these podcasts and bitch on social media about almost everything from shoelaces to everything. It doesn't matter. So just a quick shout out to our sponsors. 80K Fightwear, Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu, Madama Jiu-Jitsu, 2 Minute Warning Sports 360, and our buddy Roberto Villa and the team over at Fightbook MMA. How was that, Omar? Did I do that good enough?
You still pronounce that second L, but we'll get you there. You roll the R's like a champion, so you got the hard part down, which is kind of baffling.
Getting there.
But we'll get there. We will. It's a process.
Well, as everybody already knows, I am your host, the Reverend Tommy D, joined with me by El Professor, Omar Sangorima. If you guys want to call in, talk some MMA with us, we're going to be throwing some big topics at you early on, so we want to get those phone calls in here. The phone number is 917-889-2676. That is 917-889-2676. Well, listen, everybody. First and foremost, Omar, buddy, how was your Memorial Day weekend? Did you spend it working?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I was working. How about yours, my man? It was, yeah.
It was good. It kind of felt like the old college days where there was a lot of Jägermeister and Jack Daniels flowing, and it was nice to not wake up in my own juices like in the old days.
You're maturing. But, I like that.
Yes. Yeah. It was good to let loose, have fun with the family. Kids had a blast, and we had some MMA news come in the middle of last week and into the weekend. So right now, for the first time, we're naming this segment. He's been doing this for a while now, but we are going to have the Lecture Professor segment. Omar, rip your segment away, brother. The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. So as a follow-up to, I believe it was last week or the week before, we started to see the beginnings of the UFC's deal with ESPN, and we posited, hey, they have some stuff brewing with ESPN Plus. There was about $150 million kind of on the table there, but we knew that the UFC and more importantly their ownership wanted to up that number. So we thought, hey, is Fox going to come to the table with a little more cash? Is there going to be a third player? I was, hoping beyond hope that maybe a HBO or a Showtime would get involved, because I'm all about bringing as much fight sport legitimacy to our beloved brand there. But it turns out that Fox and the UFC played a wild game of chicken after ESPN threw its hat into the ring, and the UFC thought that it had all the cards it needed to get much more money from Fox than Fox was willing to give. Fox said, go fuck yourself. We're going to double down on the WWE, and we're going to do 52 weeks of programming for X amount of dollars versus this $10 million a show number that the UFC wanted to grab. So what does that ultimately mean? Well, we don't quite know, of course, yet, because it's going to start kicking off in 2019. But one of the things that I really wanted to get into, and I was telling Tommy, I was telling you this earlier and before the show, I'm a little pissed because if you start unraveling, it's hard to unravel the type of enigma that a private company is. And one of our former hosts, Patriots in Arms, compatriots, is Chris Gucci. He would always say, hey, listen, we don't know, it's hard. There's ways to get at private company valuations. It's maybe 2 and 3 steps removed. You can't quite just pull up the numbers on a neat PDF like you would for, say, a Coca-Cola or an Intel or any other publicly traded company. So you have to kind of do a little digging. Now, I won't go wild with the numbers because, hey, listen, I could talk about those all day, and that's really what engrossed me at work a little bit more than it should have probably. But let's
talk about the numbers because the numbers are what is important here.
Here we go. The numbers are this. The UFC wanted to get out of a total nut, it really wanted like the $450 to $500 million range out of the total TV deal. That's what it was hoping for. So when we saw the 150 number, that 450 from ESPN Plus, that first initial, this is the buy-in basically. It was the table ante. It looks like at this point, the UFC goes, okay, that's great. We have a couple of chips on the table, but we still want that 450. WME said we spent 10 times this much to buy this. We want to make sure that we're clearing this much a year from the TV deal because. And here's my main point, which is going to tie into the thing that really pissed me off and what I want everybody to remember here going forward with this little rant, is that they needed to hit a certain number because they wanted that guaranteed money per year so that when they did their books later on, they could go, okay, we've grown the company by X amount percent. We've grown the company by X dollars. That's what WME wants to see. That's what the banks that lent WME the money to make the purchase want to see. They want to see that these $4 billion went in to create more $1 billion, not less $1 billion at the end of the day. So that's what you wanted, right? So UFC goes in. It has this money on the table from ESPN Plus. It tells Fox, listen, we want to cover our nut and get to about 450. Fox says no. Fox says, no, you're crazy. We'll give you a little bit more. It upped its own number to about $200 million, which would have brought everything to a neat little package of about $350. Still short of the 4 to 450 range that the UFC/WME wanted. They go back to the table. Fox says no. Fox eventually takes itself out of the running. And there's rumors, really, that what truly pushed Fox away from the bargaining table, honest to goodness, was the fact that the UFC took the money from one of its biggest rivals. There's word on the street really is that if the UFC had maybe gone to like a non-direct sports competitor to FS1 like ESPN was, or is, I should say, that Fox might have been a little bit more amenable. I don't know how true that is considering the money that they really, it looks like they spent the money on what they wanted to spend the money on, which is that WWE money, you know? And like I alluded to at the top of the segment, they're getting from the WWE a lot more content for the type of money that they were going to be giving the UFC for.
Well, right, it's content. Every week. It's 3 hours.
It's 52
every week
it's
on a
3
Friday.
hours times 52, which is what 156 hours.
Not to cut you off. Not to cut you off, but they've tried the SmackDown thing on a Friday night, and I don't really think it worked too well. So it kind of shocks me that Fox is going to go to a Friday night with WWE. I mean, I know it's starting in 2019. It's kind of strange to me that they're going to do that. But, yes, it's a completely different animal just because of the fact that it's every week and it's 3 hours a week.
And you can bank on it, like we talked about in terms of you can create stars. So these are storylines that, hey, listen, you're basically paying for a very awesome, I respect it for the kinetic element, but it's kind of scripted programming that you're paying. And you know what? It's and that's not knocking it. That's saying you know the animal you're getting for the money that you're putting up. You can bank on ratings. You can look at so numbers are not going to fluctuate, I don't think, nearly as much. And from a standpoint of an investor, say on the Fox side of things, I think it's almost a no-brainer, especially considering the type of numbers that the UFC put up this past year, one of its worst years on record, and it was still asking for more money, basically saying, listen, we got bought out, we got an infusion of capital, then we took our foot off the gas, but please pay us some more money because we're getting ready to blow. That's where kind of Fox was. And then there was still always that little underpinning. I don't think it should go unmentioned again, is that UFC went to ESPN, a direct in-the-face competitor to the FS1, FS2, FS 3700, however many FSs there are, in many of the main media markets, right? So ESPN's making this play. They hitch their wagon, and then they still think, hey, listen, I can get money from both sides of the table. But what really blew me away when we unpacked this enigma inside of a mango, inside of a conundrum here, is the way the UFC was trying to value the deal, the number that it's trying to reach, it's still attainable. So when it was putting out this sale, right, and WME was going, hey, this is what we value it at, and then we're valuing it at this, so that in 5 years it's going to grow to that, right? It's still in the ballpark. Believe it or not, the 450 would have, been an absolute home run. The 450 million from the TV rights per year would have been an absolute wild home run, right? But it's still in the ballpark because the ESPN deal, I think, is rumored about like into the 330 range. So it's not like they're being paupers, and they're still making more money. So they're still going in the right direction from like an investment standpoint. And again, it's a private company, so you got to do, you got to kind of squint and look at it sideways. But the biggest thing, one of the wildest things that got to me was the way they're accounting for fixed cost versus variable cost. Now, I promise I'm not going to get too wild into this, but suffice it to say, you factor in for fixed costs where stuff that's, from year to year, if you sell one thing or you sell 300 things, the cost to keep the lights on is the same, right? Variable costs are what you have to put in to make more things. So if I'm making shoes to pay the bill to keep the factory's lights on, that's a fixed cost, right? But if I'm making shoes, the leather that I put into each shoe, if I make more shoes, I got to buy more leather. What's nuts to me is that in what column the UFC puts its fighters? Into the fixed cost category. Let that sink in for a second, Tommy. And the listeners, I hope I didn't lose you along the read. Sometimes I get a little wild and really crazy in this. What that's fucking telling me, with the little bit of accounting knowledge that I've been able to not forget from getting kicked in the head, no matter how much the UFC projects its earnings to go up, it's not banking on really sharing that pie with its fighters. So instead of thinking we're going to be making more money, we're going to be producing more shows, right? I'm going to be making more shoes at my shoe factory. So I'm going to need to buy more leather. I'm going to need to pay for more talent. In this analogous case, they're like, no. The fighters and the price we're going to pay the fighters and the costs that are associated with the fighters, they're going to stay fixed because we're not going to pay them more. Even though we're not quite making the 450 mil that we thought we were going to make, but we're still far above the 200 mil that we were really raking in, all considered. They're still factoring that they're going to be able to keep that fixed cost of their talent pegged at a constant rate. Anybody that knows anything about labor, anything that knows anything about owning a business or running a business, that's the UFC telling its fighters in no uncertain terms they can go fuck themselves. That drove me nuts, Tommy. I had to look at it 3 and 4 times. And I not only looked at the article I sent you, I looked at a couple other articles where I got some of the, the rumors in terms of where the real big brouhaha was coming from ESPN versus FS, and why Fox maybe was finally pushed in the opposite direction. But I kept coming back to this main point, which was driving me nuts. The UFC and the WME, now renamed as Endeavor, whatever the fuck that was for. They were rebranded, I guess, because they were known as too cutthroat a company as WME. They're really not banking on having to pay the people that generate these revenues any greater portion of the revenues, at least for the next 5 years. That's insane to me. And anybody as a fighter, and we were talking about Eddie Gordon at the top of the show, he's rocking the gear. Shout out to Eddie. Love you to death, brother. You would be great to have this conversation with too, my man, because you see and you know exactly what's going on here. If your talent is a fixed cost where you think that no matter if we have one show or if we have 100 shows, the cut that they're going to get is the same, that's a fucking company telling me that it doesn't give a shit about what the fighters are doing. You know?
Yeah, and that's why, we're not being paid by the PFL
Anybody.
to push
Yeah.
them. We're not being paid by them.
No, not at all.
But
it might seem that way, but it's just because they're not shitheads.
This is something that we need to make successful, because it could change the pay structure for Bellator, for the UFC. Ryzen it's its own entity. That's the Japanese public will always pay to watch fights. They will always be successful in Japan. It might not be so much here in the U.S., but we need to make PFL successful, just for the money aspect alone. Because, like Eddie said, some of these guys that win can make more money than Demetrius Johnson, who holds the defense record for one of the biggest company, not one of the biggest MMA company in the world. And
who's considered one of the pound for pound best fighters.
Yeah.
To lace him up, right? And he still makes probably steadier money Twitch streaming, for fuck's sake. You know? That.
Yeah. And to kind of keep it with the PFL thing. We talked about this a little bit before the show. This wasn't one of our topics that we had set to talk about, but speaking of this, with the UFC and the fighters kind of getting douched on this deal, these PFL events seem to be on Thursday nights. Now, it's starting in the summer. Do you think that they're doing this because they know if they put it on a Friday or if they put it on a Saturday, it might not be so successful because people might not be home? They're not going to be home on a Friday for sure. Saturdays are usually reserved for the UFC, and Fridays are reserved for... So do you think the Thursday might be a smarter option for viewership?
I think so, especially during the summer. I think that, it's weird. Think about it. And I only have, I don't watch too much TV, period, unless it's fights, so I'll watch them whenever. But a bunch of folks, in the summer, with families or without families, it's either going to be that Thursday where you're prepping for maybe, hey, listen, I got something to go on the weekend, or on that Sunday night, right? So unless they were willing to give up that Sunday night wild prime slot, I think Thursday was the way to go. I really do. And I think for the younger demographic, Thursday is still definitely the way to go. I think it's going to do well. Maybe they transition to a different time slot when it's, regular TV season. But
you know what? If it works on Thursday, it works.
Hey, you know what? And if it works on Thursday, I'm a greedy son of a bitch. So give me my, PFL Thursday. Give me Bellator on Friday. And then we got the UFC on Saturday or Sunday. Hey, with the numbers that I saw in terms of the amount of events UFC still wanted to run, we might still have 2-a-days, for fuck's sake, on some of these things. They want to do so many goddamn events still. There was no indicator, and trust me, Tommy, it was one of those where it's like my personal bias was influencing my research. I wanted to find something that was telling me that they were going to cut back on some of the events. I really did, because I feel like it's oversaturated. They should get a bunch of, better cards together. So maybe more cards could be like that amazing Chicago card, knock on wood, pray 3 times and, turn around counterclockwise that the injury bug doesn't kill it. But, we could have more cards like that, right? But no, they're not stemming the tide. But yeah, give me Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And fuck it, give me an EBI on Sunday, because I'm greedy as fuck for fight stuff. All right,
yeah,
I'm fine with that.
It
makes sense, man.
Like this is why we as MMA fans, we need the PFL to be successful. Like I know when I talked about it with Steve when I was doing the interview with him and Justin Ledet, he was saying like this thing's been started and stopped so many times. I look at it as it's been started and stopped so many times. They were trying to get all the pieces to fit right. They have a great line of fighters that you already know, some that you don't, that could become up-and-coming stars that, like Eddie said, they could have the potential to go over to the UFC, but if they're making good money there, why? It's like Michael Chandler. Why doesn't he leave Bellator? Because he's making good money. They're paying the man. He could be in the UFC easily.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. Talent-wise, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if the PFL starts paying is going to pay these guys what they what they're saying, disclosing that they're going to pay, and the first season is successful, and let's just say the second season is successful. Once that ball gets rolling, the UFC and Bellator are going to have to start changing their pay scales to these other guys, for these other fighters that they have, or else they're just going to leave. And those PFL tournaments are going to get bigger. You're going to see more showcase fights. You're going to see more. It's going to be a major, major conglomerate.
Tell me where in what labor structure in the United States of America you have a situation where you can be working at a company and then you can publicly hear, hey, instead of making $200 million from this one portion of our revenue stream, we're now making $300 and $330 million a year, right? And then in the same breath, oh yeah, but nobody's getting raises, or you're only getting like maybe a 1 or 2% raise. Don't you think like regular workers would go fucking bananas? I know I would. You telling me like my company lands some wild, crazy deal, and I know that that's only a part of what they're making, and probably in other revenue streams they're going to be making many more times that, right? So it's a crazy successful year, and then I'm going to be looking at my pay scale and going, wait a second, it's not commensurate. I mean, I know I don't own the company, I know I don't run things, but I'm one of the things that make this thing run. Don't you think you'd be? But people won't see this. I don't understand how, this is public knowledge now. It's not, it's public. I'm bloody elbow, for fuck's sake, for what, like a day and a half now? Shout out to John Nash for he went deep, and then he led me down other rabbit holes. Like as a fighter, I know this is not lost on Eddie, right? I know this is not lost on other fighters, man. That $1 million, the PFL could follow the UFC's business model and just pocket it, do a big tournament and, give a high five and a decent check to one person that wins the tournament, instead of making the tournament winner's $1 million and making sure you're paying out a shit ton of money to everybody else that places. It just baffles me, Tommy. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either, man. I really don't. I don't either. You would, it looks to me, and I think you might agree with me on this, WME is trying to make the most bang for their buck while they can, because I think when this deal runs out with ESPN,
okay,
I think WME puts the UFC up for sale. Yep. I think Dana White goes off to do what he wants to do, like you said, maybe the boxing promotion, or honestly, after all these years and all the money that he's made and that he's still making, maybe he just steps out.
It could be, honestly, right? Like if something else major, and I'm not wishing this on him, I'm really, not trying to be a dickhead, but, what if something else happens health-wise? He had that Meniere's disease, and that was, the schedule he does have for right now, it's insane. I'll give him that. He's underslept, right? He's underrested. He's overtired, and he's running around here, there, and everywhere. He doesn't get to take events off like our boy Joe Rogan, right? He might go, or who knows? He might take his crazy chunk of cash, try to buy a fucking NFL team or some crazy business. Like he's starting to get into that stratosphere of wild money. But I agree, Tommy. They're gonna ride this out, and I hope it'd be cool to see, because how many times have the two of us over the years of watching the sport evolve have we been like, hey man, wouldn't it be wild if they were on the UFC one, or if they were on ESPN one day, but like consistently, not just like as a weird, and we've been kind of circling around, and we've been on Fox, and we've been on FS1, we've been even on NBC, right? Spike, Paramount. We've been getting there. But what if this ESPN deal blows the fuck up? That's the only way I see WME even remotely maybe hanging on. But more than likely, if it blows up, they're going to be like, "Yep, check please, I'm cashing out. Turn my $4 billion into 9 or 10 in a 5-year span, in an 8-year span. That's not a fucking. That's something, you can write books on that'll be published in business school forever if you're able to do a deal like that. Turn $4 billion into 10 in 6 years, 8 years.
What I think will happen is what I've always said is going to happen. Viacom's going to end up buying it out and doing to the UFC what they did to Pride, or they keep it UFC because of the name recognition and just merge the Bellator company.
Only people with deep enough pockets to do it, Tommy. You're absolutely right. And if ESPN is making some cash and this ESPN app blows up, like it could or it couldn't. I'm not sold yet on it, Tommy. Like it's I'll have to see. I'd be much happier if Disney stopped honey dicking everybody and just packaged everything that it has its hands on into like a Disney Netflix type fucking 8-headed Hydra to really battle Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon or whatever. But maybe it will. But who knows? The app could blow up. Things could happen. But that would be great, man. If that happened, I wouldn't be mad. Because you know what I'd like to see at that point? For fuck's sake, at that point, could we get some better fighter representation? Because this is nuts. If the deal is like this at this point in time, Tommy, I just can't believe it, man. They look at their fighters like it's, I got to pay for water. It's just an ingredient in what we do. It's not our main product that goes up and down based on the amount of sales we make. It's not what drives our business, If I had half a brain and I was fighting in the UFC, I'd be like, well, this confirms it. They think we're pieces of shit. That's really at the end of the day, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, well, look, the guys that are at the top aren't going to think that, but, these guys that are making noise but not making cash, they're the ones that are getting douched.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that's a perfect... They're getting straight douched,
Yeah, and like we said, Demetrius Johnson. Guy's got, more belts than he's got fingers at this point. And he's not making any money. And it's a shame.
It's fucking... You know what it reminds me of is like... remember the old days of like baseball and shit? The legends that were playing? And some of them had to have like other jobs.
Yep.
Like we're still at that point in our sport in a lot of ways. Like if an absolute legend, like any kids I have, and if they ever get into fucking martial arts, and they ask me, oh man, who should I look at? I'd point to fucking Mighty Mouse. Dude doesn't get hurt much. Is a animal. Is pure technique. And yet he would make more money as like an aggressive CPA, I think, consistently, which is just astounding to me.
He'd make more money as a video game creator or something like that.
100,000%, or an 8. You know what's crazy? That athlete would make more money being an agent to other athletes.
Oh, for sure.
Isn't that crazy?
For sure.
And he's smart enough to do it.
Yeah,
I'm
not
sure
an idiot.
Yeah. But that's sad, right? Think about, like, would we ever say that? Aside from, like, the super agents, say, like, a Scott Boras, who's been making, cuts of wild pies that he's concocted with teams, like, aside from a couple of those heavy hitters, how many other agents say that? And, where they're making more over the long term. Well, maybe it's more than that because all these motherfuckers go broke anyway. But you know what I'm trying to get at, right? Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
Yeah, or Mighty Mouse could maybe make more as a trainer.
He really could. I don't know. He could make more as a whole shit ton of things. And I, for one, am super glad that he chose to be a fighter. God bless him. Because he's I'm not... This is not hyperbole for me to say. He's probably one of the best we're going to see to ever do it for a while. It's just everything clicked.
Yeah.
He got the fucking 7 Dragon Balls, and he wished himself into the most complete fighter. And he would love that reference because he's a dork and a geek like me. So that's where he's at. But yet he can make more money as a fucking like prosecutor in his county. I just don't. I don't care, right? Like seriously.
Yeah. Your guess is as good as mine. Well, let me tell you something. Now that was the best first segment for Lecture from the Professor we could have ever asked for. I can't wait to do more with that, Omar. That means each week you're going to have homework.
I'm fine, man. I'm fine. And you know me, I'll find stuff that gets me this pissed off. Because that just bothers me, man. You know, they're out there dying.
Let's talk about something that should piss us off, but is kind of really expected. Nick fucking Diaz.
Oh,
what
boy.
Was it? A couple weeks ago, he gets busted. Wait, do we have a caller, Omar?
I believe so. I didn't want to cut you off before you got to say, what you needed to say. But I'm going to bring him on.
Let's see what our caller has.
Give me a second. Caller, you're on.
Yo, what's good, bro? What's the deal?
Hey.
What's the topic for tonight?
Hey, who do we got on the line here?
Is this Tommy D?
It is Tommy D.
Tommy D, what's going on? This is Freddie Carr. What's going on, bro?
Holy shit, Freddie Carr. Oh, my God. Omar, this is one of the few people who has run me over to the point where I almost didn't want to play football anymore. Oh, my God.
Stop. Wow. That was a long time ago.
Freddie Carr,
how you doing, brother? What's going on?
That's good.
I'm going. Listen. I love hearing you guys go back and forth on this. This is. I'm a purist just like yourself. I've just seen the UFC fight night with Darren Till and the whole controversy with Stephen Thompson or whatever. But I did catch the tail end of what you guys were just talking about. I'm not sure completely the context of what you guys were talking about, Demetrius Mighty Mouse.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, what we were referring to it with is that new UFC deal that they signed with ESPN.
Oh, ESPN. Okay, yeah.
Basically, all that money that the UFC is going to be making, and none of it extra is trickling down towards the fighters. And Demetrius Johnson, who is the all-time belt defense leader,
right,
makes basically nothing for someone of his caliber.
This is been the consistent pattern with the UFC since its inception. You know what I mean? Whether it's talking about health benefits, whether it's talking about the deal with Reebok, or just in general how it's a revolving door for these fighters. I feel bad for some of these guys. It's almost like if you're not in the line for a title defense, or if you don't got some type of a name, you could be on the fucking street, some of these guys. You know what I mean? And as someone, I've never played professional sports in that way, but I've trained with some guys that got some names, and I played at a high level myself, and I feel bad for these guys, you know what I mean, that put their whole life into that and don't get compensated in some ways like the NFL. They don't, take care of them as well as they should either, but there should be more for the athletes. They're actually building the brand, and they should do more for them. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Well,
this is why we're hoping that the PFL is successful. Have you been following that? Have you been following what's going on with that at all? Like with
not
their structure?
No, just on a broad level, but not specifically what they're trying to actually push through for the fighters. No.
Well, basically, it's what we're used to from high school sports, like PowerPoints and stuff like that. The team with the most points gets to move further into the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
When we had Eddie Gordon on, he said that final night, at the championship, I guess so to say, there's going to be $10 million doted out to these finalists, to the finalists. $1 million for each guy. Second and third place, they get money, and I'm sure these guys get paid also to fight, throughout the season and things like that. But with that kind of money being put out, fair to these guys who actually earned their way of getting there, not earned their way of getting there by being a Twitter moron and calling
right. They actually put in the work. They put in the blood. Yeah. Absolutely.
So if the PFL is successful, which we're really hoping that it is, it might not be the first season, it might not be the second season, but if it's successful, Bellator and UFC are going to have to change their pay structure and start paying their guys more because they're just going to jump over to PFL and make more money.
Right. No, absolutely. And that's where, listen, before when the UFC was the only, and then, you had Bellator, you had Pride before that, and then you got, K1 and all this other stuff. I mean, these guys, the way they get paid in comparison to boxers that we can't, the UFC has more notable names that we can name off the top, that I can name off the top of the head, or any casual fan can name off the top of the head, that I can't name. I follow fighting since I was a little kid, boxing, MMA. I go back to like Pride, UFC 1, all that. I can't name 10 fucking boxers right now in any weight class. Like, I mean, I can name the major guys from the late 90s. You got Mayweather, Pacquiao, you got some of the, the newer guys. My point is this, though, like the stars of the UFC are not getting compensated properly in comparison to boxing. You know what I mean? And it's more, and the sport is definitely on fire. It's definitely got more of a popular following than ever before. So there needs to be something needs to happen. George St. Pierre was saying something about this a couple of years ago. And there's a couple more fighters that have come out and said they need to be compensated. Guys getting paid $100,000 a fight. You know what I mean? That's why Diaz is like, yo, listen, I'll go and fucking box somebody for $5 million. Why am I going to jump in the octagon for $500,000 when I could go box somebody and play pity pat for 12 rounds with some guy that just won the Golden Gloves? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make, So
that's why Conor
needs to happen.
Right? That's why
Absolutely.
Conor went.
Come on. I mean, who wouldn't? Listen, if I was Conor McGregor, and I want to see it. Look, I didn't come on the show really to talk about so much the politics of fighting and stuff. I wanted to kind of get down to the, what happened on the fight night. Is Khabib and Conor going to happen? Like, I was really coming off for that. Like, I know that you guys had a certain narrative to the show or whatever, but just jumping on with Demetrius Johnson, the biggest problem that I had with him is that, he fights at 125 pounds, and he needs to jump up in weight. And he needs, like, if he's beating the shit out of guys that are, the only one that I could really, besides Benavidez, Cejudo, who else is he beating? I don't know, can you give me another name? Anybody in the top 10 besides Cejudo and Benavidez?
Ray Borg.
Okay, Borg. Okay, that was recent. That was his most recent fight. But my point is this. Okay. Who the fuck is Tim Elliott? You know what I mean? Excuse my language. I don't know if I can curse on here.
Oh, no. Oh,
yeah,
you kidding me?
Go ahead.
But my point is this. Demetrius Johnson, he's a great fighter. But when you're a fighter on his level and you got a guy that's calling you out, that's, we're talking about lightweights, 25 to 35, Tommy B. I know that you were an athlete when we were growing up. I think that you wrestled too. So you understand the whole, about weight classes and cutting weight and stuff like that. So for him to kind of duck that fight when it's such a blockbuster event, it's just like, yo, you're scared, or you just kind of want to stay at 125 as guys. You don't want to jump up. You know what I mean? And that's why I love I'm not a Conor McGregor dick rider, but the balls that motherfucker has to go up and wait and all this other shit and fight Eddie Alvarez and then fight Nate Diaz, you got to give props to that. You got to. When he went up against Eddie Alvarez, I didn't even think he could pull it off, to be honest. And, he dominated him. Like, he beat the shit out of him like he was a little kid. You know what I mean?
Well, the only thing I'll ever really agree with Brendan Schaub when he talks, and he could have said it a different way than he said it when he said, Eddie Alvarez is at that weight class is the easiest fight for Conor. He could have said it a different way, but he was kind of right because Eddie is a stand and bang guy. He's as tough as they come, and he just wants to throw leather. He has some wrestling, but he's not going to use that with a guy like Conor. He wants to punch a guy like Conor. He wants to punch a hole through his soul, and that was kind of, I think, what kind of messed him up. You're talking about the other guys in that division, like it could be. You're talking about top level wrestlers. I mean, look what Chad Mendez did to him.
Tommy, listen. But when all right, let's go back into the context of that time frame. He was coming off a win. Who did he beat? He beat fucking Pettis. He beat RDA. He beat I know he beat three major top contenders in that time frame, and to the whole buildup of the fight, the guy was talking about like, oh, listen, I gotta utilize my wrestling. I seen what, just like you said, I seen what Chad Mendez did to him on 10 days notice or 2 weeks notice when he fought him the first time, when McGregor fought him at 45. Andy Alvarez after the fight, he's like, listen, I got too caught up in banging with him. I should have pushed him against the cage like he did with Pettis. He was fucking, pushing him against the cage, grabbing him underhooks, and he got him to the ground eventually. And he was too concerned with what you were saying as far as standing and banging with him. And, McGregor, he's an enigma when it comes to as far as his stand-up, his footwork, the way he could catch you and just lay you out. I mean, I literally almost fucking died when he knocked out Jose Aldo. Like, I literally almost fucking, like, in my living room, fucking had a heart attack and shit when he knocked out Jose Aldo.
You know what he does? He gets you to do what you don't want to do just by being a loudmouth. I had the honor and privilege of interviewing Jeremy Horn a year ago on another show.
Shout out to Jeremy Horn. Absolutely.
Yeah, I got to interview him as a guest spot on another show, and the one thing that he said to me, because of course this came up about Conor, and he said, he goes, you see him doing these wheel kicks and things like that before the fight. He goes, but once he gets in the fight, all he does is the basics, and he does the basics very, very well. If you have a fighter who could do the basics very well, he's going to be very, very hard to beat. Just like Nogueira. Nogueira's jiu-jitsu, everybody said was basic, but he had some of the best jiu-jitsu at a heavyweight weight class that you've ever seen. So if you could do the basics well and stick to your game plan, it's going to work for you. And it worked for Conor, for sure. But to go back what you were saying with Demetrius Johnson, right now, we can kind of segue into this while we have you on. I don't know if you know much about Jose Shorty Torres. He was a guest on our show, and he's tight.
Yes, I saw. Yes, I seen. I don't know too. I saw something that you posted, and I went briefly when I was at work. I just saw like one of the fights that he had or whatever, but I didn't get too much. I mean, purists like us, we're gonna go into like the high school wrestling. I go back into researching like, where they were in wrestling and grappling when they were in high school and. Their kind of development and stuff like that. So I didn't get to do that with the guy that you're talking about right now, but I remember seeing you posting something.
Yeah, he's a 2-division defending champ, multiple defending champ for 125 and 135 in Titan FC.
Okay.
He's trained everywhere. He's one of TJ Dillashaw's training partners. Right now he's training over in Coconut Creek over at ATT, and the UFC finally signed him. Finally.
Oh, nice.
It got to a point where, like, Sean Shelby and Maynard blocked him on social media because he kept tagging them. Why don't I have a contract? This is a guy.
Do you think that he has a shot? Do you think he has a shot at beating Demetrius?
I think he does.
Okay.
He's very heavy-handed. He's very fast on the ground. You have Fight Pass, right?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
We're all furious right now. Yeah. Absolutely.
Type his name in and watch his Titan FC fights. I mean, the guy he breaks
phenomenal.
Omar, what did he say he'd do? He blew out his ACL in his one title defense and continued to calf kick the guy until the guy attempted to block it with his hand, broke the guy's hand, and still ended up winning the fight by a knockout.
With a messed up leg. He's a
monster. All right, so I'm gonna definitely check him out. I got 2 questions for you guys, and I don't want to I don't want to be the caller on your show babbling on. You know what I'm saying?
It's all good, man. We welcome.
But you know what? Like, you listen. I the guys that I took, guys that are. You did this show for the simple fact that you are passionate not only about the sport, but just the essence of fighting in general. And me, as far as competition, sports, whatever, that's what I've always been enamored with too. So I appreciate what you guys are doing. And Tommy D, I know that your heart's in the right place by doing this show. So my point is this, there's not many people that give a fuck about like even what we're talking about right now. So anytime that I have like a platform that I can kind of say somewhat of my opinion, you know what I mean? And it could be we can have dialogue about it, and I could take your opinion and the same thing. I appreciate it, you know what I mean? But I have 2 questions for you guys.
I'm pissed it took you this long to call in.
Oh, I should. Yo, I just, you know what I mean? We got, that's, bro. I got to talk to you offline, Tommy D. You know what I mean? You know my man Darion, and like I'm cool. Like I got some shit that we could definitely, Yeah, we've
been waiting on that
out.
one since Chris was here.
I got you. Oh, what's up with him? Where the fuck he been at?
You know what? He's. I talked to Carl. He's got a job. He's making big money, and it's.
What is he doing?
I guess he's doing the bartending stuff, but hey, look, man, I can't blame anybody for making their money.
Hey, that's my dude. That's my dude.
Yeah,
that's my dude. He's another dude. He's another cat that shit. He got like anytime I've talked to Chris Gucci and sit down and talk about sports, I mean, literally, I could talk to that cat forever about even you too, Tommy D. You know what I mean? So
yeah, we miss him here.
Yeah.
We miss him.
Yeah, he's that dude. He's fucking hilarious. He's fucking hilarious. He's fucking crazy. That guy is fucking, you know what I mean? But 2 questions for you, brother. Conor and Khabib. Tell me, is this gonna happen? And if it does, how do you guys see the fight? And then I got one more question on Thompson and Phil.
Omar, I'll let you take that one first.
I would say that I was almost guaranteed that it was gonna fight. It was gonna happen, but the latest that I'm hearing from GSP about wanting a fight at 155. If GSP says tomorrow, oh, my stomach trouble is done, my colitis is gone.
Right.
Not to make light of it, but I kind of am. Yeah, but
yeah. No, absolutely. I read into that. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And if he says he's ready to go, I don't see them, waiting around and giving Conor too much more leeway to kind of jerk him. He's still got the legal stuff to deal with. He's still got a couple things there. Khabib has been taking shots at him like, hey, man, you got to get your house in order. I want to fight you. I want it to happen. But if GSP says tomorrow, hey, listen, I'm lighter than I've ever been walking around. Right. And I want to try my hand at Khabib. I think they give him, they give him the Khabib fight and they go do it in Russia.
Who would you? Oh my God! I mean, not to sound
well,
cliche.
Dana already shot that down.
No,
that's not going to happen in Russia. That's not going to happen in this Russia card. You know what I mean? But you guys are.
There at all.
Who would you guys rather see? Would you rather see Khabib Conor, or would you rather see Khabib GSP, Conor GSP? Out of those 3 fighters, the merry-go-round of the possible matchups, what is? If you got an opinion
GSP.
from Tommy D, Omar, Conor GSP. Okay, who you got, Tommy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Me,
okay.
I want to see Conor Khabib because I want to see Khabib put him on his back and I want to see him maul him just like he's done to everybody else. Because look, here's my thing with it. All right, if Conor does come back, I have a feeling it's just going to be like a fight-by-fight basis. So if Conor ends up beating Khabib and he wins the belt, he's just going to sit again. So I don't want to see that. Like I know everybody says that about GSP. The guy had a problem with his stomach. You know what I mean? It was a legit problem with his stomach. And so rather than holding up a division, he relinquished the belt. I have more respect for that. I do than somebody who wins the belt who shouldn't have even gotten the shot to begin with because he didn't work his way up to it. Takes the belt and sits and then goes and boxes. I understand it was anything. Hey, that's great. But I want to see Khabib put him on his back, smash him out for 5 rounds. I don't even think it would last 5 rounds because I don't think Conor's gas tank would be able to go through what Barbosa went through.
I'm about 90% about what you said, but there is a small 10 to 12% of me that I think, because we've watched the fights. Like, what concerns me is, like, even with Alaquinta, when Khabib, when he's standing up and he's lifting his head up, he's lifting his chin up, and he comes in there looking like a Notre Dame mascot. You know, and he got his chin all the way up in the air, and he has it. You know when he does that? When he does that hop step, when he's moving,
the beard makes him look like the mascot more. That's why I'm laughing.
No, I know, but you feel what I'm saying? Like he comes in with that chin real high. You know what I mean? And I think that Conor could really light his ass up. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, I'm with you. If I was gonna bet my soul and my life. Like I'm going to be buried tonight on Conor Khabib. I'm going to be like, yo, Khabib's going to maul him, and he's going to either win a fucking crazy decision, or, you know what I mean? He's going to it's going to be a TKO. They're going to stop it, you know. But
what I've noticed with Khabib is, Khabib is an enigma all on his own because each time you see him fight, his stand-up is a different way. Like when he fought Barbosa, he ran at him to back him up against the cage.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because he knows Barbosa's not going to box. Now, I don't know if Khabib really did as much homework on him because he had no problem standing in Al's face. Now, the first 2 rounds, you saw he had no problem taking Al down.
Correct.
So I don't know if
and that
he
jab, that jab, he was killer, smacking him with that jab.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know if he wanted to just show that he could go a full 25 minutes, standing up with somebody. And then, I don't know. I mean, yeah, he was going for takedowns, but it didn't look like he was really trying to overly commit for those takedowns towards the end with Al. It's weird.
Not as much, not as much. But I think that the mega fight, like I said, like I would want to see Khabib. I think the build-up would be more entertaining than the fight. I mean, could you imagine how they're going to split all that fucking footage and of the bus incident and how they're going to hype everything up with Artem and the whole incident in the hallway and this has been going back about the death, that the Dagestani, he's a piece of shit and all sort of shit. So the build up in the press conferences alone of Conor sunning the shit out of Khabib, which would be hilarious to me. You know what I mean? I think that it would be fucking hilarious because GSP almost holds if you're a fan of mixed martial arts, it's almost hard to sit there and watch Conor McGregor make fun of GSP and call, you're old and your time is past, it's my time, and that's all he. But with Khabib, my point is with Khabib, there's like an actual. It seems like it's almost like a real beef. You know what I mean? Especially with what happened in New York. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a backdrop. There's a backdrop of the story. There's some depth to the story to where GSP, it seems like it's just a money grab. You feel what I'm saying? So,
it's a money grab. It's to do something that's really never been done, and that somebody wins 3 belts in the organization. Nobody's ever done that before.
Correct.
So we'll see what happens with that.
All right, so let's skip that. I gotta go because I'm gonna go on a rant real quick, man. Tommy, you gotta give me a pass on it, bro. First of all, Stephen Thompson won the fight.
Yeah.
Second of all, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But and this is just me speaking subjectively, like I'm being a little personal. Darren Till is definitely one of the most annoying fucking fighters that have come along in a long time. Like just the way he kind of, like, oh my God, did you hear him screaming? Like you would think that he just knocked fucking Stephen Thompson the fuck out the way he was screaming on the mic and shit. Like are you serious?
He was trying to convince
came
himself
in 3 pounds. You came in 3 point. And then he got the fucking audacity to go in the press conference and be like, "Oh, it's 3 pounds, 3 pounds, motherfucker! If you're cutting weight, 3 pounds is a lot of fucking weight."
It's huge.
You know what I'm saying, Tommy? You know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're trying to cut 3 fucking pounds. And it's not coming off. Come on, bro.
He cut 43 pounds apparently. He cut 43
Oh, yeah,
pounds.
because he walks around at what, 215 or whatever it is?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Stephen Thompson definitely won that fight, but
absolutely. Come on, that was bullshit, bro. That was anything. All he was doing was hopping the fuck around. They were playing pity pat, but Stephen Thompson actually landed some good blows. I mean, I think the last blow in the 5th round kind of swayed everyone, but some of the scorecards didn't make sense to me because I'm like, how the fuck does this guy walk away with a unanimous decision?
You know what?
It doesn't even make fucking sense.
The location sways.
Oh, come on, Liverpool all day, all day, all day.
Jesus Christ,
all day. But he's annoying. And you know what? I'm praying. I'm fucking praying that they put him there with Usman. I swear to God, Usman. I think Usman, like it will be a rude awakening. Like I'm gonna beat all these cunts and all that. Like I want to see that guy get his fucking ass kicked so fucking bad.
It'll be payback for Colonial.
Oh my God!
It'll be like
or give Stephen Thompson a rematch or something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That was horrible. I feel you should have seen. I know you were watching. The look on the father's face was just like he was disgusted. Like this fucking fat fuck misses weight by 3 pounds and then he comes in, and then my son comes in here and gets robbed. That's fucking nuts, yo. It's fucking
my
nuts.
thing with it is,
that's into my rant. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. But my thing with it is, you can't come out if you're Darren Till, and it's been anticipated for you to come back and fight since he completely decimated Cowboy Cerrone. You can't come out in your next fight and put on a performance like that. When you miss weight like that, you need to come out and impress people, like Mackenzie Dern.
Yep.
She was impressive, even though she doesn't know how to make
she's
weight.
a whole other story that I could, oh my God, with the accent and everything.
And for Stephen Thompson, Woodley wrote the playbook on how to beat Stephen Thompson, and it's just to make fights unexciting. And,
right. Correct.
And that's it sucks, but
Stephen Thompson has to be he has the blame in the sense of this. I thought he fought a good fight, but just like with the fights with Tyron Woodley, he's a great mixed martial artist. And even when George Masvidal fought him, I'm like, you know what, Masvidal might bring out a little bit more bang. You know what I mean, in his fight. You know what I mean? Like he might force him to get a little gritty. You know what I mean? And it was still like Stephen Thompson. He's a cerebral fighter. He's going to play the distance game. He's going to move in and out, in and out, in and out. Punch. He's going to blitz. As soon as you come up, he's going to start to blitz and punch you, and then he's going to. So my point is this though: he needs more beast in his game. Like he needs to come forward more. You know what I mean? You could do the pity pat shit and be elusive, but if you do that all around and you're just countering, yeah, it gets annoying for the fans sometimes. You know what I mean? Like there gotta be some type of a sequence where you're blitzing somebody or you're putting the pressure on, because he started to. Like, you know how he moves in and they come in, he starts to blitz. He caught down a couple of times when he could have followed up and really, like, he's too busy playing pity pat. You know what I mean? At least that's what it comes off to me. He's way more capable of being a monster. You know what I mean?
You're right. And the other thing that we got to think of is Stephen Thompson. He's getting up there in age, and he's also been in so many fights from before his mixed martial arts. So I mean, the mileage might be wearing on him a little bit.
No, you're right. So to me, I think
it's too hard to tell. It's too hard to tell.
Who do you think that is up for next? What do you think the best fight for him next is?
Stephen Thompson?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know who they give him now, because I mean his last few fights haven't been the Stephen Thompson fights that we're used to. So you know how Dana is, and Dana might put him on the shelf.
I think they'll give him the loser of RDA Colby. You know what I mean? And maybe give Darren the winner of that fight. Give Thompson the loser. And maybe they'll give Darren Usman or whatever, because they're all within that that number 5 to 4 ranking or whatever. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm interested to see what happens with this Colby RDA shit. You know what I mean? Like I think that Colby goes as much as I think he's a fucking cornball. I think that Colby could fucking win. I think he could win, I think he could win that fight. I think that he could dominate that guy. Like listen, I grew up wrestling. Like, no one's going to beat a wrestler. I don't give a fuck. Like, grew up watching fucking Matt Hughes and, like, when it was really about that ground and pound shit. And Colby Covington, he's a fucking great wrestler, you know what I mean? And if he could get RDA and just bully him around and get him on the ground and he's fighting off his back all night, he's a bigger man, you know what I mean? It just is what it is. But I'm anxious to see that fight. But, yeah, man, like, I didn't want to call and talk your ear off, you know what I mean? I just want to call and give my 2 cents. I've been meaning to call in. You know what I mean? I told Chris, I told my man Tommy D I was going to call in, so I just wanted to call in and talk to you guys for a minute. I hope that I could come in and call in next time you guys get a show. You know what I mean?
You can call in anytime you want, brother.
Open door.
All right, no doubt, man.
This is awesome.
Absolutely, man. Omar, it was good. Yeah, it was good talking to you, and Tommy D, man. God bless you, your family, man.
Likewise.
Good talking to you again.
Thanks,
and
take care.
We will speak soon. All right.
You got
it,
easy,
brother.
Yeah, take care, man. I'll see you soon. Speak to you soon.
The great Freddie Carr. Man, you want to talk about a dude who was a monster on the football field, bro? He was a monster.
What I love is his enthusiasm, my man. Like, this is what, when you get people that love MMA, and I what he said, like, in the middle of that was true. Like, it's almost, you find somebody, like, outside, and you're like, oh, you like MMA? Like, or, like, you're at a weird party, you're not really feeling it, but maybe you find that one person who sits and flips through the channels and puts on the fights, and you're like, yeah? And then they look at you and they're like, yeah, man, I'm about this life. And you made a friend at the party, no matter how cheesy the party is. You're just like, okay, I'll watch boxing with this guy, or I'll watch MMA with this guy, So, and then you become friends,
But he was spot on with everything. He was spot on with everything that he said.
Him bringing up Usman as, I hope Usman goes and takes Darren Till's lunch money, was a phenomenal point. Like, no joke. That would be, and I would become a fan of Usman again, because I've been a little lukewarm on him these past couple fights, and just been like, And
I've still never gotten away from that, man.
What?
I've not gotten out of being in Usman's corner.
I got you. I hate that he had to do it on our boy's coattails, but Father Time is undefeated, and Damian Maia is every bit of 700 Nogueira years old. He's starting to look it too. Like, he's a little.
I just think Usman needs to be a little bit more aggressive, but it's got to be with the right kind of fighter. So a Kobe Covington could be that guy, and I was going to say this when Freddie was on. I'm very excited to be on that conference call for Fightbook MMA this week with Covington and RDA. I really am excited.
Just for the sound bites.
Yes.
Because, even broken English, you're going to see RDA say or try to say some pretty fucked up things. He's going to have to.
He's got another Conor. This is just like when him and Conor were going at it in the beginning. It's another guy. He's just copying Conor.
It's a low rent. It's a poor man's Conor McGregor for sure. Because
Conor
in the videos
terrible porn stars to
oh
to
my
come
God.
to videos.
Like, what? Like, the personification of, you can see no soul in a woman's eyes. That was whoever that actress was. That poor automaton. That extra cadaver from a Westworld extra set. That's who the fuck that woman was. And I'm just like, if you're that much of a baller, you can at least afford somebody with a personality. You know what I mean? Like, for like 10 minutes. But
he's so cringeworthy. Like, I almost don't even want to watch him fight. Like, he's another one of those guys where if you don't talk about him, he'll probably just go away. But let's talk about somebody who probably is going to go away. Right before Freddie called.
Oh,
Nick Diaz.
Here we go. Here we go.
Nick
Good
Diaz
segue, dude. That was well done.
Was arrested for a domestic violence incident on May 24th. He was charged with felony domestic battery by strangulation and misdemeanor domestic battery. The woman had she had hurt her hip because she said she had been thrown down to the ground. She had marks around her neck, and her eye was supposedly red. And this coming off of an incident with Clay Guida. Not long before that, with his brother Nathaniel. Do you think they throw the book at him with this? Look, everybody's innocent until proven
Trump's
guilty.
America, you can't be a Mexican getting in trouble. I'm going to be the fucking first person to say it.
Why does it have to matter in Trump's America? Why shouldn't it just matter in America, period?
Because Trump's deporting.
You should.
Well, okay, beating a woman flat out, yes. But the joke was that in Trump's America, he's deporting everybody, no matter what. So if you give him even the hair of a reason to, he's going to send you packing. All right, there's fucking deportation buses going on now. People are running on that platform in the southern states. That's a topic for a different time. But I I don't understand where the fuck this guy's coming from, and maybe we're starting to see the wheels come off the bus in terms of
why.
Like,
here's my question. All right, this guy is fighting and not getting paid. It's actually costing him money. Think about that for a minute. It's costing him money.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not making money doing this. And look, everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But if this does come out that he actually did do this, and this isn't just some chick looking for money, if he actually did do this, how are you people still supporting Nick Diaz? How?
They shouldn't. They really,
No.
if they should cut ties. If this is, even with, like, I know it's innocent until proven guilty, but, like, bro, if you look at the police reports, if you look at the there's probably photos out there somewhere. I don't know if you got them, but I'm pretty sure that the internet has them somewhere. Like, you have to.
We are talking about a guy who is so paranoid, who is a social outcast. He definitely has some kind of, like,
he's on the
public
spectrum
anxiety.
somewhere.
Yes.
I mean, he probably might be on the spectrum somewhere. Like, I don't want to downplay, not, belittling that at all. There's just, it's more than likely.
You talk about, look what he did with, the Rivoli's thing. He agrees to come out, just doesn't show up. This guy sells all these tickets, and then he's got to refund everybody their money back. Yeah, he eventually came out to do it again, but as we talked to Kareem, it's like the fucking guy didn't even want to be there. So you're talking about him doing stuff like that. Then you hear GSP on Joe Rogan's show say that, Nick Diaz said that GSP poisoned his IV bag. GSP was on steroids. GSP came in overweight. The guy is so fucking paranoid. I don't think if it's the marijuana, he's completely smoked himself retarded, and he's the one poster child that these politicians are going to blast all over the place saying, this is what happens when you smoke too much weed. So, yes, weed needs to be illegal.
What?
Yeah, and I don't agree with it. I think weed deserves to be legal. I think it should be legal. But these crooked-ass politicians are going to use a guy like him, who everybody knows is a pothead, and they're going to say that he smoked himself completely retarded, and he can't judge the difference between right and wrong. You know how they are, Omar. They're making a truckload of money off alcohol, so that will never get brought up, even though everybody knows that alcohol is the number one major cause of fights all over the place in bars and even at UFC events.
Oh, yeah. Alcohol does a fuck ton more, I think, in terms of, like, trying to rip at the social fabric of society and civilization than weed ever could. But this guy, man, I'm at a loss because I just don't understand. Like, if you have this demon in you, fight then, you son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Do you get kind of where I'm coming from with this? It's like, bro, like, everybody's been asking for you to fight, period. If you got this itch, fucking fight then.
Start a fight with Clay fucking Guida with your brother. Like Nate has the balls to talk shit about Khabib.
Yeah.
But yet you started fights with Khabib needing your brother. You started fights with Clay Guida needing your brother. When, what's his name? Mayhem Miller, all he did was just go in the cage again, like, to talk to Jake Shields and say, hey, what about my rematch? Jake Shields.
No. That one, I will not allow you that one because we've seen that Miller is crazier than a shithouse rat. Like, that one you can't even hold against anybody. Stop.
No, that one, we didn't know about that before. All he did was go in there, ask Jake Shields, when am I getting my rematch? Wait.
But hindsight being 2020, this man's the same man who stripped down naked and got arrested trying to play the baby Jesus on fucking Feliz Navidad time, okay, in a goddamn...
Doesn't matter. At that time, it didn't matter.
I was with you.
Wait, here's my question.
I was with you.
Who was the first people to throw punches? It wasn't Jake Shields. And it wasn't Mayhem
Probably Mayhem Miller's imaginary friend that he talks to in his cell today.
It was the Diaz brothers.
Mayhem Miller is the third Diaz brother that they don't recognize. Like that, in terms of crazy time, I will know. I was with you. He is probably a wife eater, and he's a piece of shit for being that. I'll give you all of that, right? 100%. But in the minute you try to bring up,
let's wait until the story comes out, the whole story.
Yeah, that's true.
Really? Well, what did she do, Kareem? Steal his weed?
No, I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. What I'm saying is, quick to judge. Like, everybody was quick to say 1,000,001 things about Rumble until it was like, oh, so she falsified a bunch of shit and was just out to get him. But, he got demonized real quick.
Were you listening when I said everybody is innocent until proven guilty? Were you
listening
to that
that's
part?
what I'm saying. Yeah. You did. You put that out there. But I'm saying, I wouldn't even dive too deep into it because, we might go diving in, the water's fucking shallow, and then we smack bottom, and there's not too much to it.
Well, the water, according to some people, the water was pretty shallow for Bill Cosby, and it wasn't the drink of the fucking pills he was
Hold on. On that note, we have another caller. I'm just going to bring on. I'm just adding Mike to the mix. I'm just saying, I gotta get. I leave you two guys for 2 seconds in the screening room, and you're talking about shallow water and Bill Cosby. I hope you guys are both going to hell. Let me bring him on. Mike, you're on. Save us, Mike, please.
What's going on, fellas?
Hey,
they're talking about Bill Cosby
from Hawaii. What's up,
please.
Mike?
Hey, nothing much, man. How you guys doing?
We're good. Where you been?
All over. Baseball season. Baseball season's over. Now it's relax for a little bit before summertime craziness out in paradise.
Oh man. So what's up, man? What do you got to talk about?
Nothing. I was just the first thing I want to comment on is the show. It's been a while since I called. It's gotten kind of official. There's Omar checked in with you, asked you if you need any water, anything to drink, make sure you're able to talk on the radio. Used to be just jump right on and say whatever the fuck you wanted. Now like Omar's checking in, making sure it's all good.
I was wondering. I was like, what?
Things to get.
Well, man, when you partner with Fight Book MMA, who's now signed a deal with USA Today, we got to start getting this bad bitch official, man.
Gotta screen your calls. Gotta screen your calls. Omar didn't put any lemon in my water though, so step it up, Omar.
I'm fucking up. I'm sorry. I forgot. I'll do better.
So
do better next time.
When they put you in the green room, they don't let you listen to the show anymore. So I might have missed where you guys are at. What you guys are talking about now?
Nick
you
Diaz
missed Bill
being a
Cosby
woman
reference,
beater.
which is why I brought you on,
Bill Cosby.
Mike. Jesus Christ.
Oh man, Nick Diaz. Diaz is the Flavor Flav of MMA. That's kind of where he's at right now.
Yeah, good call.
He's like, you got to kind of acknowledge his role in history, but he's just kind of everybody that's anybody, and you just want to step away from him because it's just,
Well, it just seems like
example.
I said, it seems like he's taking fights that are going to be costing him money, not taking fights that are going to be making him money. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, wait, you're talking Nick? You're talking about Nick or Nate?
Nick, which is the woman beating stuff from this past
weekend. Yeah. I mean, I look at even his brother. But his brother stuck with him. But can you imagine how much better of a spot his brother's career would be in if he wasn't dealing with Nick Diaz?
Probably. Well, who knows if he would have had a career if he wasn't the brother of Nick Diaz. He might not have gotten up.
All things being equal, though, that guy obviously much more talented than his brother, and I feel like Nick definitely slows Nate down with his antics.
Oh, I think so, too. I mean, look, Nick was the Strikeforce champion, and, yeah, he was amazing in Strikeforce. Then when he came over to the UFC, he was what he was. A name with a mouth who has an amazing gas tank, who can box, but spends more time talking shit during the fight than he does trying to win the fight. He beat B.J. Penn. That was it when he came back to the UFC. And that was back in 2011. Yeah. New Jersey was still in one piece before Hurricane Sandy the last time he won a fight. And people still love him. I mean, yeah, you love his antics, but if this is true, Kareem, how could this guy still have any fans? That's like saying people are going to support Greg Hardy if he becomes a successful MMA fighter.
Listen, I don't know. Fans are fickle. They make very little sense most of the times as concerns the Diaz brothers. But I can't even bring myself to formulate anything left or right. I just want to see what's going to happen. Like, what's going to come out and what's going to happen. Because his buddy...
All right, here's what should happen.
Means
if it is true,
he's out.
No, if it is true, Nick Diaz versus Gabby Garcia.
Andy Kaufman.
What is...
If he wants to beat women, if he wants to beat women, why not get paid for it?
You got Diaz going full Kaufman.
No, the way he said it too, he just kind of out of nowhere. Like what? Who said that?
Yeah. Tommy's money's on Nick Diaz going full Kaufman. Just not.
It's not.
It.
You know what?
Maybe.
I mean, it's not. It's a safe bet. At this point, right? He was bringing up Mayhem Miller earlier too, as the voice of reason. As long as he's done fucked up.
As long as he punches the chick from Philly, I think he'll be okay.
Make sure you poop.
Well, hey, don't kick someone in their balls, man. That's what happens. Kick someone in their balls.
I'll see myself out.
Jesus.
Well, you know what, man? It's great that we heard from you. Dude, keep calling in, man.
He's ushering you up.
Just playing him off, Tommy. That's how you know he's sponsored. I'll check back. I'll take my cue. I'll check back in with you guys headed into the Max fight, and when Blades wins this weekend against Overeem, I told you first a few weeks ago. I think you guys remember that.
No, you did.
Yeah,
you did.
And
I definitely said Blades is the next guy coming up in heavyweight that's relevant.
But will anyone know that it happened, considering that CM Punk is taking his spot on the fucking main card, though? Right? That's what sucks.
Hey. Win some, lose some. Win some, lose some.
That's true. Ask Tommy, right? Oh, boy.
Yeah. Great line from my cousin Vinny. Win some, lose some.
We say out here, guys. Out here, it is what it is. It is.
Oh, boy.
All right, fellas, be safe. I'll check back in with you guys after Max wipes the floor with Brian Ortega.
Yeah, nice. You got it, brother.
Actually, that's gonna be a great fight. That's gonna be a real good fight. So I look forward to that one. You guys be safe. Just checking in with you.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, guys. Please.
Take care.
All right. That's our third caller now that Kareem slid on in here. So let's get off the Diaz talk. Let's get off the Diaz talk. I don't want to spend too much time. I don't want to spend too much time on dudes who beat chicks and don't get paid for it. So what? Speaking of, I had to slide that one in there just to kind of shock you there, Omar.
Christ, man.
I can't. Come on, man. There goes the sponsors.
Well, we talked about this a little bit when Freddie had called in, but coming up this weekend, finally, Jose Shorty Torres is going to be stepping in on short notice to fight Jared Brooks for the Fight Pass prelims in the flyweight division. I'm very excited for this. Shorty's been busting his ass for a long time. I know this isn't the way he wanted to come in on a short notice fight, but I guess you just have to take it when you can take it, right, guys?
Pretty much. Get in there, put on a show, get a decisive win, something spectacular, give them something to talk about, and then, take away their reasoning for why he's not getting something better.
You got to make yourself you got to make yourself undeniable, man. I mean, what I love is that Shorty is the type of guy that would take a fight like this. How many fighters do we know of? We don't want to name names because, we want them all on the show, so I'm not going to call out anybody yet. But they talk a good game about, I want to fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. I want to get into the UFC. Oh, my God, I can't wait, blah, 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 right? And then when something happens like this, they're like, well, no, I'm going to get a haircut that day. And I got to get a manicure and a pedicure. And you know how that goes. I'm going to get pumice stones on my feet. And I better stop this before I blow up my own spot in terms of knowing a lot of spot treatments. But you get what I'm saying, guys, right? This doesn't... They talk a game, but they're not about the cause. Shorty said, yeah, fuck it, let's do this. It's a dangerous fight. And you know what? He's legitimate enough on the outside of the UFC to wait a better opportunity, right? But fuck it. He's like, man, opportunity's knocking. I'm going to let that bitch come in. I love it.
Yeah, because there's nobody else in Titan really left for him to fight. I mean, they had to import a fighter to fight him.
He's outgrown Titan, and you know what? That's what you want. That's what Titan should be, and that's what it should know it is. And everybody, it's great for what it is. The mixed martial arts doesn't have a farm system, so we need this loose confederation of smaller shows to kind of produce talent. Maybe when we get to the Olympics, it'll be a different story. But until then, this is what we have, so we make do. And he's ready to take the next step. And wouldn't you know that even on a subpar opportunity, because it's risky. He goes in, he loses, right, guys? And then the UFC's like, well, nah, we knew it. But if he goes in and, like what Kareem said, he goes in and fucking owns this guy's soul. There's no better way to kick the door down and be like, I'm here, bitches. Give me 2 more fights, and then I want DJ.
Yeah, well, you see, my thought process on it is, even if he comes out and let's say he loses a split decision, but he puts on one hell of a performance. I mean, just an amazing, amazing performance.
Don't put that on him,
He's still gonna get another shot.
Don't put that on him.
You know me, bro. You know me. I root for this guy. I've been rooting for this guy for a while. I love watching this guy fight. He's 125-pound TJ Dillashaw, 100%.
He's a pistol.
But my point is, I think he'll still have a job, no matter what, just because of the kind of fighter that he is, the following that he has. He's getting the opportunity. He'll definitely not squander it. This guy is a hard working guy. If you follow him on Instagram, he's always pushing his limits. He's doing what he's got to do social media wise. He's got great sponsors. He's got great teams behind him. I mean, when we had him on the show, you hear the talent that he's trained with, from Greg Jackson's to Dwayne Ludwig. Now he's down there at ATT. Who knows where else this guy has stopped at? It's his home gym in Chicago. I mean, this guy is training with everybody, getting the best guys ready for their fights. Man, the future is so bright for him. He's only 25 years old. He's only got 7 professional fights under his belt. I think he could be the next guy for DJ. This could be the guy that DJ gets up for. All right, let's just say when he wins this fight, who do either of you two, I'll go to Kareem first. Who do you think they give him for his next fight? Do you think they give him somebody in the top 10, or do you think they give him another unranked guy?
I mean, that brings up the question of, like, money, looking for, what might be expected by both sides, because, they're not going to, the UFC is not going to play the sensible, here's what people might want, or here's what makes sense game as far as a matchup. They're definitely going to cut a corner or two with, here's a decent matchup, but we're not going to pay you like we probably should. Or, this money's okay, but we're not going to give you anybody that's going to, springboard you into that next level. It's a toss-up. I'd like to see him in the top 6, top 5 guys.
Omar?
I think, like I said, if he goes bananas and he plows through, whoever's available within, I want to say, let's go the top 7 or the top 5, and then another top 2 or top 3, and then a title shot. If he does what I think he can do, if he rises and he grabs this opportunity by both hands, which he's already doing, but then he executes the way I know he can. I don't know, man. I'm with you, Tommy. I'm sold on the guy, and I think Kareem is too. Like, I know you hate Bishop a little bit here, but one of the things he says is like, hey, listen, when Connor speaks or when like a Darren Till speaks, I believe him. It's not just bragging. Now, I might not agree with who he believes. When I hear Shorty talk and it's just, it doesn't come off as bragging. It just comes off as like, hey, you know what? It's 10:26. It's like he's just telling you the time. And what time it is it's time for him to fuck shit up and win a title in the UFC.
Yeah. No, you're spot on. I'm definitely excited for it. It's hard to say it's been a long time coming because he's so young and he's, like I said, he's 7-0, but it's been a long time coming just because he deserves it. He definitely deserves it over some of these guys that get contracts. And like I said, I know he wanted to come in with a full fight camp, something they could put some promotion behind. But you know what? If this is the door that's opening for you, you got to step in it. You got to step in it because I think if he kept going, maybe one or two more fights with Titan, yeah, he was going to win. I still think that Dana would just be like, well, he must be happy where he is, so we'll just leave him there. And then who knows? A Bellator could have picked him up, or the Pro Fight League could have picked him up. So I think this is great, and I'm definitely excited for the card this weekend. How you feeling, Omar?
Oh, I'm pretty excited too, man. I feel as though this next year, the next half year, I should say, is going to be pretty crucial. I know the ESPN deal doesn't come in till the end of the beginning of 2019, but I don't know, with how boxing is even going, with how the UFC is going, with how Bellator is going, now with the PFL coming along. I mean, we're staring down the barrel of a pretty active and like quality filled next half of the year. I can't believe I'm saying that already. I know it's May, but we're coming right up to June. It's going to be the next half of the year, man, the second half of 2018. It's going to be filled with some pretty awesome fights. I'm looking forward to it.
And, this card's, it's nothing to snub, this upcoming card. It's got some big, Gian Volante's fighting Smiling San Alvi. That's going to be a great fight.
Those guys always throw down in their respective fights. Like they make exciting fights solo, so it's going to be cool to see. Together,
and you got, Ben Saunders against Jake Ellenberger. That's going to be one hell of a fight.
That's wild.
That's going to be insane. And the main event, the fight that people have been waiting to see since the CFFC days, Marlon Moraes and Jimmy Rivera.
That's going to be a fucking tremendous card. Those two guys. They're going to bang. And I don't even, do you think it's going to go the full time? I don't. Those two don't play around, man. I really don't think it's going to last.
I don't know. It's tough to tell. I don't know who I give the striking edge to. I want to see Marlon just fucking blast this guy's face all over the octagon just for taking the time off he took off to, be a sportsman rather than being a fighter. Turning down fights with guys like Aljamain Sterling, who's been calling him out again since the CFFC days.
To be a sportsman. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Well
do we still have Kareem on the line? Is he still there?
No, I think he I think he might have stepped off for a second, unfortunately.
Okay. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be one hell of a fight. I think it's going to be a stand-up war. I could see it going to the judges. If I had to bet my last dollar on it, I'm going to go with Marlon. What about you?
I agree.
Yeah.
Everybody's high on Jimmy Rivera, and I am too. But I think Marlon's just got a little bit more of that seasoning. So I think it's going to be Marlon's night.
Yeah, and we just overlooked this fight. You got Gregor Gillespie against Pichel. That's gonna be a fight.
They're gonna fucking throw. Yeah. It's gonna be tremendous. Little whirling dervishes. Those two,
Yeah, so this is a really, really good card. I think it's in Utica. So we got to deal with that athletic commission there.
Oh Jesus, don't get me started. And you know what? And you get on my case for fucking being in the boonies, Tommy. Don't get me started.
The boonies.
Don't get me started on Utica. That's in a weird place called Central New York. No, but oh no. God damn it. That's a rough part.
Yeah, I've only read about it in places.
Bro, I used to drive through it to visit other people at other colleges that were nowhere near Utica, and it was still fucking... I made sure that I had a full tank before I got to a certain exit, just because, there ain't no stopping here. I could pass for weight, but I'm not going to test my luck here. I'm just going to drive straight on through, and we're not going to look anybody in the eye till I get to fucking solid land here, all right? Oh, God, it was scary. Jesus. Whoa.
Yeah. So, I hope this is just another one of those beautiful cards that just
surprise people, that people sleep on, and then it just comes out and it's like, oh, shit. I'm going to be watching. I know that for a fact.
It needs it after that Darren Till and Wonderboy event.
That entire fight was like a fart sound. Just a long, long fart sound, and then it was capped off
card.
by
the card.
Yeah, the card was, and I just it just, and then the judging did, it was the cherry on top, man. Fucking terrible.
Yeah, well, you know what, man. I'm excited for the fights this weekend. I'm excited to see how it goes. For everybody out there, I will be on the press conference call for the UFC with Colby Covington, and RDA is going to be on there. I will be writing an article for Fightbook MMA. I will be sharing it on our social media. So please, please, please keep your eyes out for that. And a big shout out to Eddie Truck Gordon, who has been posting on his Instagram, training for his big PFL fight coming up this weekend. My man is rocking the Pride Rules T-shirt that we sent him. How great is that?
That's exciting.
Omar.
Super exciting, dude. I'm ecstatic. We're blowing up little by little.
Yeah.
Little by little.
Yeah, we are. Sean Teed wearing our shirt when he was training with Fast Eddie Chambers. If you guys aren't on the boat now, don't try and jump on once we start getting bigger, because there won't be room for you.
No, this bandwagon's small. All right? It's just the people that have been here from the get-go. That's
right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, brother, this was an excellent show. I had a really good time talking to you about these, and just, man, the lecture from the professor segment. Oh, I can't wait to do more of that every week, Omar. That's your one main task every week.
Give me homework, man, and I'll you know me, I'll go deep, man. I'll pick out the wild nuggets, man.
Yes.
And get mad about something. That's the point. That's the key, I think. I get pissed.
Yes, and big shout-outs to Freddie Carr, Mike from Hawaii, Kareem for calling in. We definitely had a great guest-filled show tonight. I'm going to be working on getting some guests for next week. I know Jeremy had messaged me from Shamrock, so we're going to work something out to get some guys on. So we will hopefully have a guest next week. This Friday night, also check me out for Fightbook MMA. I will be in press row for Ring of Combat. Frankie Perez is coming back.
Thomas,
coming back and fighting for. Yeah, I'm busy. I'm a busy man.
You got a full dance card, my friend.
That's right.
Bless. Fucking awesome.
I love it. I love it. Living the dream, brother. So please be on the lookout for that. I will share that on social media when I'm able to write the fight recap for that. You will see me on our Pride Rules social media, shouting out to Fightbook while I'm there at the fight, shouting out to Ring of Combat. We're going to take this thing big. So Big shout-outs to our sponsors, 80K Fightwear, Black Hole Jiu-Jitsu, Madama Jiu-Jitsu, 2-Minute Warning Sports, Roberto Villa.
There you go.
Fight Book MMA.
Oh, you've been hiding it the whole time, you son of a bitch.
You know it. And our family over there at Fight Book MMA and Jency and Ace, Steve with Cage Side Submissions. We love all you guys. Thank you for the support. We support you. We are Pride Rules Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.